Welcome everyone. We'll go through today's price action analysis of Bank Nifty futures. Today is 3rd December. Price opened below yesterday's low, which is this dark blue line. Bears tried to apply the pressure, but there was a fight between bulls and bears, and eventually the bar closed as a trading range bar. So that's why you see tails on top and bottom and almost nil body, right? So there's no clarity here. What happens next on bar 2 is bears sold the close of this bar and tried to push the prices down one more time, but bulls basically soaked up that pressure, and that's why you see this tail, and they did not allow prices to go down any further, right? Here you can see on this bar 1 there was an attempt to go past this yesterday's low, which is an important resistance now because price opened below it, right, to get past, and they did poke about it, but somehow couldn't manage to close above this important level, right? Yesterday's high and yesterday's low are and important levels that I track on daily basis because that is where most of the time price either gets stalled, and if not, it will continue to move fast. What do you see next? Those bulls who basically uh, were applying the pressure here, they basically bought the close of this bar and pushed the prices up, right? But looks like most probably it was not really strong bulls, or there was no continuation that they got, right? What happened next is, even though this bar is a strong bar and it managed to uh, close strong, what happened is that those bears who sold in here, right, they were ready to scale in, right? That's what you see. The bar try to poke one more time about this high, bar 1 high, but some bears scaled in and they push the prices down. So what you see here is that these bulls, some of the weak bulls, have given up. Some will scale in lower. We'll talk about that later. But the bears who sold in this area, they sold the close of this bar or this bar, they are scaling in here on this bar. So what you see is two attempts past the yesterday's high failed. That is an opportunity for you to get short below this bar, right? I have built the context the way I explained. The bears made the bulls made two attempts to get past yesterday's high. There are bulls who try to provide support, but bears are scaling in here, right? So there are two attempts to go in one direction, and they both fail, means the price will try to go in another direction. So that's why you see a strong entry bar here closing on its near its low, right? But we knew that there is this area where bulls were applying the pressure and they were supporting this area. And that's what exactly happened. The price went below bar 1 low, barely, it poked below it, but immediately bears either booked the profit, or these bulls who bought in here in this area are scaling in lower. So these bears knew about it because price failed at one end, and there is a possibility at another end as well, because bar 1 is a trading range bar, right? That uh, is telling you a story that possibly a trading range is uh, lined up ahead. Of course, that is not 100% certain, but it is just giving you a clue that we have to watch out for, right? And then this price action is basically telling you the moment it poked below and the bears uh, are booking the profit and bulls are scaling, and that's why you see this bar. Now when you entered here, this is around 223, 17223, and this level is around 17201. So we did not have 30 points of room or profit available, but there was 20 points that were available that you could pick up. So your first target was 20 points here, uh, or if you don't want to go for 20 points, it's up to you. You could wait for 30 points to hit, or your stop gets hit. But the moment you see this kind of a bar, you can clearly see that the bulls who were providing the support in this zone, are scaling in lower, and that's why you see a big tail as well as a close on its high, right? The bears did try to push the prices down, but what you see next is immediately bulls bought it. They did not allow any further damage, and prices were being pushed up. So some aggressive bulls, or this is basically a trading range behavior confirmed. Price failing on either ends of bar 1, failed on top, failed at bottom. This low is 17,212.20. Possibly you got it at around 212.50, right? So again, look at either the 20 points or 30 points, because the overall range is not that high and there are possible resistances in between, so it's going to be tough. What you see next is there's a strong entry bar, close at its high, there's a good follow through, then again uh, this is an attempt by the bears, but it was all soaked in. Bears made one more attempt, or possibly those who did not get out here on this bar, they are trying to get uh, basically some of the bears are again scaling in possibly. But what you see next is that there's this area where bulls got in long, and then this area, right? The the next bar, immediate next bar, they bought the close of this bar. So there's a gap between this and this, which is the strength, because once they created this breakout, the pullback or the test failed short, and that is which is a sign of strength as far as this move up move is concerned. There are possibly some bears who did not get out here are getting out here, and there are bulls who want one more leg up, and then they are also buying, but they are scaling in, because once they see this and this bar, possibly they bought this bar, the close of this bar, and then they are scaling in here. So weak bears who did not get out here are getting out here, so they are buying, and those bulls who bought in here are scaling in. So that's why you see a strong bull bar, wherein most of the participants were buying. Next, this is a doji bar, so no real pressure from bear side. There's a good breakout above yesterday's high. Bears tried to fail this breakout. It is now into a zone where prices failed 2 times initially, and now it is the bears were trying to apply the pressure near the moving average. What you see next? Bulls bought the close of this bar, so they are not giving up yet. Bulls haven't given up yet, right? What do you see next? Gap down. This bar closed in here. The bears tried to apply the pressure by creating a gap down. It did manage to close on its low, but what do you see next? Bulls bought the close. So bulls haven't given up yet, right? So they bought the close and they're pushing the prices up. Okay, by then you see that there is one push up, this is the second push up, and this is the third push up now. So whenever price goes through 3 pushes up or down, uh, there's usually loss of momentum, or there will be some sideways price action before price continues to move in the direction that it was going in. So it was an up move, higher highs and higher lows that were being formed, but right now we see this third push, so that means the price will probably stop. That's exactly what happened. Those bears who were applying pressure here, right in this zone, were probably scaling in, right? And they scaled in here. That's why you see this gap down here. Price closed in here and opened here. So you see the pressure that they are applied. So those bulls who were late in buying late into the this zone or this possible up move are now surprised. Even those who bought the close of this bar, betting on the continuation of this move, thinking that the price has crossed yesterday's low, and that's an important win for bulls, are surprised, or they're disappointed. They're going to be disappointed. Okay, some will still hold on, and what they will do is basically scaling, or they are basically the limit order traders, right? And so what you see this, once they see this the bear bar, they bought the close of this bar, or they're buying below this area, right? Because they will this area was supported by bulls once. They are betting on that, and then they bought in here. So they bought here and then bought in here. So average is somewhat here. So what you see there is they at least wanted to get out at break even, and that's why you see this bull bar where prices kept on going up, but when it came to that area of break even, it failed. So most of the bulls gave up, or at least those who bought so late into the trend try to get out a break even, and those who got a little bit earlier possibly booked a scalper's profit, right? Then bears knew this. They seized this opportunity and they immediately started sailing this uh, particular price action that they were seeing, and that is where you get one more opportunity to short, because you know that price is failing in this zone multiple times. Bulls have given up because this bar is clearly telling you that they they're not making any more attempt. They have given up. They're disappointed, right? So this is an opportunity to short below of this bar. It triggered. It didn't close below it, but the immediate next bar is a strong gap down, and a very strong, the strongest bar of the day that you see here, right? But it is at the support or possible support wherein price will fail. The peers pushed down. You got in on this bar around 221 or so, and this went up to 182. So you definitely got 30 points on this move, right? But at least 20 points were there for sure. What you see next, trading range price action has been established as of now, so no one side is owning it strongly, right? But that's what exactly happened. Bears did manage to push it down below this support zone, but bulls bought it. Again, one more attempt by this, bulls bought it, right? Some are betting on continuation of this move, so they sold close of this bar because this is at least bearish. Some saw this bear bar and they sold the close of this bar on betting on the continuation. But they know that they have scale in the higher up area, right, somewhere above this bar to be able to make any profit. What do you see? What do they see next is this bull bar, because bulls bought the close. You already see tails on these three bars, so that's an area where barbed wire is being formed, right? So price needs to really get out of the zone, but it's going to try and trap both the sides and then make a move. What you see next is these bears who wanted, they know that they're possibly not in for the continuation, so they want to get out and break even. So some are scaling in higher, so they're shorting here with limit orders around this area, and that's why you see this here. Some are getting in here, and that's why you see this uh, bar wherein those who entered late are getting out, because they scaled in here, their entry was here, so at least they're getting out average, or some made some scalpers profit, those who got in here, right? So they're making, so bears are getting out at break even or scalpers profit, and bulls know that this is an area where bulls provided support earlier, as well as the trading range price action. There are high chances that price will get back into this zone, and that's exactly what happened. The moment they saw this bar, right, they bulls bought below this bar limit order, and they kept pushing the prices up, right? So you see 1 2 3 4 bars in a row, right? So that's a nice price action. Possibly continuation is there. So now people are betting on continuation, so they will buy this close, they will scale in lower. That's why you don't see a failure here at the moving average, right? So this bar, nice continuation, and they buying close of this bar as well. And then there's a strong bear bar, so possibly now bears are trying to apply the pressure here, or some are getting out. And then you see there is a limit order when bulls bought below this bar and provided support at EMA and pushing the prices up. Now I have drawn this level, which is basically I joined this point and this point, and there's a parallel line. So that's a channel that was running for the day, and you see some resistance being shown there, right? So those who are entering late into trade bought the close of this bar. But what you see next is that uh, they are in for disappointment. Bears are selling in at this level because they sense that this is an area wherein aggressive bears are trying to create shorts and start pushing the prices down, because they feel it is a resistance zone based on this channel that I have drawn, right? That's why you see a strong entry bar here, wherein price pushed below moving average and closed on its low. Now, what's going on here is we have to watch for traps and disappointments, right? That is where prices move fast. Once you see this a channel, a micro channel, or bullish micro channel broken down, right? And then you see those who got in here at this close, okay, they're going to scale in lower. If they did not book any profits here, they're going to scale in lower and try to get out at break in, at least at break in, right? So that's why you see this bar wherein bulls bought the close of this bar, they tried to scale in lower and then they're pushing the prices up. Those who got in at the close of this bar entered long, they're getting break even. Those who entered here and they bought in here, those are barely getting break even, right? Those are getting or they have to get out at loss, if not a complete loss, at least slightly some loss that they have to get out. So those bulls are disappointed. So we managed to create a breakout below this micro channel. Those bulls who are waiting on the continuation are now disappointed and they're getting out, right? Either at break even or at small loss. So which means these bulls are selling. Bears are anyway waiting for to create a breakdown, further breakdown. That is why you sense this opportunity to go past the moving average and get a short opportunity. You place a short below this bar, which is 17,205, and the bar was strong. Bear bar closed it near its low. Follow through was good. At least it went down to 17,169.85. So you get in at 205. So you get out at 17,175, 30 points profit at least, right? So that is what you got on this move, right? And then you decide to continue with this move further or get out at 30 points completely. It's up to you. Okay, so anyway, this was a trade which is after 9:45, which is something I don't trade, because you can see there is so much information being displayed by every single bar. It is difficult to be focused and analyze so much that you get tired or exhausted. That's why I focus on first 30 minutes, 30 bars, and see what they are telling you, and see if you can get into right trades and pull the trigger on time and be be profitable, right? So just to quickly summarize, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 trades that were possible in the first 30 minutes. This was there that I've identified. If you keep trading beyond 30 minutes, you could basically benefit from this analysis, right? This was 20 points at least. This one was another 20 points. This is 30 points. This is also 30 points, and this is also 30 points, right? So on an average, you got even if you ignore this trade, there are 4 trades that were possible in 30 minutes, and they gave you 20 points at least, right? So around 80 points you got if you did not you booked your positions completely 100% and there was no partial booking, right? Okay, that's it for today's price action analysis. I hope it helped. Thanks for watching.